It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
You want something, go get it. Period.
You gotta keep moving, let's go. Don't quit until you got nothing left.
This is where we have been, this is how we got here, this is who we are.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
You're listening to the Hustle Indie Show, where we seek out some of Indie's most hustling people and places to learn about what they do, how they got started, and where they're going. Sit back and enjoy the show.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Hustle Indie Show. I believe this is episode 10 of season 2, which is crazy because this whole season has just flown by.
It has.
I don't know. I think the winter kind of made it feel like it was just happening a lot quicker.
Yeah, it's already almost the end,
middle to end of March.
Where did time go? I have no idea. How have you been? How have you been recently?
Very busy.
Yeah.
Very busy.
Yeah.
As the weather starts to turn up, a lot more stuff starts to happen. Yeah. Not just career-wise, but extracurricular-wise, like walks, exercise. I've got a dog, which requires a lot more attention outside now. Just lots of stuff going on outside of work, but also in work. We're doing a lot more outside.
Yeah, we are.
Photography, drone photography, videography, and stuff like that. So just been super busy. How have you been?
Again, busy, but good. Doing my best to just keep my head down, keep grinding.
Keep hustling.
Yeah, no, the weather turning is nice. The weather this week has been kind of rainy, a little dreary, but I know it's right around the corner. We're almost there. We're almost there. I'm headed to Florida next week for a little vacation, so I'm excited about that. But this episode was awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah, and it's about a topic that some people maybe are afraid to get into, not necessarily talk about, but actually jump into themselves. So Chaster Johnson what is the founder of this
StockTeamUp.com.
StockTeamUp.com. It's an awesome basically social media platform as of right now. And what they do is they help people like me and you and the average person learn about stock trading,
investing,
and it's long-term focused. So it's not one of these day trader things. It's about actually growing your wealth. And kind of we were talking a little bit off air. What a cool thing for him to be doing.
Man, I can't harp enough. In the episode, I was just struck.
Yeah.
Like I was processing in the middle of this episode as we're having this conversation, how important this work is, how important the things that they're doing are for people like you, me, but also other people that are in different areas of life, different walks of life. It's just super cool to see the work that they're doing, not for their own benefit, but genuinely invested in, no pun intended, invested in the people that they're benefiting. Yeah. Like you see the Robin Hoods, all of this stuff, where they're all about getting you to be able to do what you want to do. But what you don't see is they're benefiting from you just using it. They don't really care how good or bad you do, because either way they're going to be out on top. What Chaster and his company are doing, they care about you. They aren't making money off of you whether or not you win or lose. Yeah. Their genuine interest is getting you in to help you learn and become better and smarter about your investments. And again, like for me, and I was just telling him off air, this is so important for people my age, your age. Yeah. But I mean, all kinds of people who don't know about investing, who want to invest but don't know what to do. This is just breaking barriers, I think. And before I get on a tangent, I don't want to take too much of your guys' time, because this episode was, super cool.
No, I just think Brendan kind of hit it on the head. It's very important, especially for people that are maybe nervous or don't know much about the stock market, and they think it's only for the rich people to get into. They don't understand how it all works. So we do need to get into how does it work? How can a person like me and you actually make money and grow our wealth long term? So that's something that he does, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. Make sure you check out his website. Make sure you check him out, their social media, just because what they're doing is pretty important, and it could really help people like us long term.
Before we take too much of their time, make sure you guys show some love to Chaster and his team.
Absolutely.
Hope you enjoy this episode.
Let's get right into it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Hustle Indie Show. This week we've got an amazing guest with us that's got an awesome story, some pretty interesting stuff to be sharing with us. So we would like to welcome Chaster Johnson, who is the founder of StockTeamUp.com, to the Hustle Indie Show. So Chaster, welcome.
Welcome.
Hey, I'm Brendan. Thank you guys so much for having me
Absolutely.
here.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it's a pleasure to have you on the show. We like to start off every show. Give us just a basic rundown of who you are, where you came from, and what you're doing now.
All right. So long story short, I used to be an aerospace manager for multiple years, built plants, built other things. I left that world 3 years ago to get into finance, but I wanted to get into finance to help people and also to build my own business. And now I've built this social media platform to help people learn to invest and grow their wealth.
Wow.
We are trying to break into the financial media world by going after people that don't even know they need to be investing right now.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
That's a large, especially with everything that's happened recently with GameStop. And I would actually like to hear your thoughts about that in a little bit. But what was kind of the inspiration behind starting this? So you go from kind of one end of the spectrum doing something aerospace. I kind of like to hear more about that as well. So how do you go from that all the way to this finance, starting up your own company? What was the inspiration behind that?
You know, I've never told anyone this. I'm actually going to tell you guys this.
Yes,
My business partners don't even know this. They're going to find out on this episode.
All right.
A long time ago, I was in the Philippines. I'm half Filipino.
Okay.
And I remember one time being somewhere and and seeing the poverty. I mean, we have poverty in America. Yeah. It's a different level of poverty there. It's very real. And so since then, in the back of my mind, I've always thought, how the heck? How in the world do we get everyone to actually have some wealth, get out of all this? And one of my advisors kind of explained to me why I went down this path. He explained it to me. He's an African-American investment advisor, and he told me on one of our videos, he said, when you're in the stock market, no one knows who you are. It's all anonymous.
Yeah.
So if you can figure it out, if you can get some wealth out of it, anyone can do it. Any other asset in the world, real estate, anything else, there's a potential for bias. It doesn't mean it's there, but there's a potential for it. Stock market, no one knows or cares who you are.
Yeah, they just care about your money.
So that's why I started it. I had this in my mind for years.
So then, are you from Indianapolis, or did you grow up in the Philippines, move here? What does that look like?
So I was born in San Diego.
Okay, cool.
My wife is from Indianapolis.
Gotcha.
And so we came here 3 years ago because we have a 6-year-old, and we wanted to raise him here, and we're in Carmel right now.
Oh, awesome.
What a great location. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So go ahead and tell us a little bit more before we get into your current business. What was like your education like? Where did you go to school, and then how did you get into aerospace? What was the lead up story to that?
Okay, so before everything happened where I changed my mind on everything. I was an aerospace engineer out of a school called RPI. Okay. It's out of upstate New York. Unless you're in engineering, you probably don't know where that is.
Okay.
But I love engineering. I love to figure things out. And my plan had always been, just build airplanes or maybe eventually go into something interesting like space or I don't know. Like my other buddies, they did go into it. Some of them worked at JPL or one of them actually lives here. He works at Origin, Blue Origin, excuse me. But I don't know. I just never. I never went down that path. I always went to the money side because of this inkling in the back of my head about trying to do something more.
Yeah. And how long were you in the aerospace before you transitioned to what you're doing now?
9 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
9 years.
Okay, so then you're in it, doing it for 9 years. You lean more towards the financial. So what pushed you over the edge to actually get you there?
Not to go into too much detail, but I built a plant up in upstate New York.
Okay.
It was for this company. They were building the first 3D printing mass production for aerospace.
Wow.
So they build titanium parts for like Boeing and all good stuff.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But without going, I can't go into too much detail.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But
no
long
big deal.
story short, I wasn't happy by the end of it all. And I decided to try something completely different.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So then that startup point, when you started to go in a different direction, once that trajectory had changed, How long was that process? What did it look like? What were some of the challenges that were going on as you're starting to venture towards StockTeamUp or wherever else you were going before then?
Well, I talked to my buddies. So, my officers at the time they're my buddies. We were always talking about investing. We had built a website just for our investment club. We were thinking, well, we'll just have, I was just at the time thinking I want people to invest.
Yeah.
And we started it back in, I think, 2011 because the financial collapse occurred.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, we need people to get some money into the market.
Yeah.
Everything's cheap, and no one wanted to do it. They were all scared and like, no, be brave. Come join us.
Yeah.
We'll do this whole investment club thing. And so we started building it, and we kept on building it. And so we always had that technology in the background. And one of the spark that really got us into the direction we're going now is pretty much we were doing this and we realized, wow, we really can't tell who's going to do well in our little investment club. But man, we can pin down exactly who is really bad at investing.
Okay.
We can, with our technology that we built up, we could figure out, okay, that person cannot make good stock picks. That person cannot have any power in this investment club. We need to get him or her just pushed to the side.
Yeah.
They know it. They have a horrible return, and we predicted that before they even got there.
Interesting.
So we want to use that. We're using that technology now in our site. But instead of doing a small investment club, we have now 11,000 plus users.
Wow.
And we're trending just the best ones and telling the ones that aren't doing well, that's great, but we can't have you trend that much. You can't be an influencer on our site.
So what exactly is, in a SparkNotes version, what is StockTeamUp.com? What does it do, and what's the purpose of it?
At the most basic level, it's a social media platform for people to grow wealth. They can go on the site, they can learn about investments, and they can pick it with the idea of having a long-term investment portfolio.
Gotcha.
That's the basic level.
Okay.
At the next level, it's to let influencers in the financial media world have a platform that they may not have had because maybe they were a little smaller,
Okay.
But we are making them all compete for eyeballs. You can have as many as you want as long as you can perform well. We don't care.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, if Jim Cramer was on our site, he'd probably get to the top eventually, but at the beginning he'd have to work at it. He'd have to actually build a portfolio and do well before he could be trending on everyone's feeds.
Wow, that's really cool.
And then on the other level, it's about letting the person who has no idea how to invest go to something they're used to, a social media platform, and we're collecting all their data. And instead of selling that data like other tech companies would, we're trying to give it back to them. And we've given them algorithms that we've created, and we're giving them to them and say, hey, do some comments, do some likes, follow some people. And when you have enough data gathered, you can press one button and we'll give you a portfolio.
Wow.
And it's based on all the top performers in the whole site and people you're following. So we're really trying to let people that never invest feel comfortable by converting their comfort with social media into actually a real portfolio that they can do whatever they want with. They can either go for it or not.
That's so cool.
At what point? So that's actually amazing. So the algorithm part of that is that something that so when you and your buddies were creating something, how does that even work? For just obviously dumb it down for some people like us, how did you get to the point where you're able to bring everybody's data together, and do you go off of their preferences of what types of stocks or interests they have, longer term, or is it a combination of all of that together, or how does that even work?
There's what we have right now, and then what we have right now but we're not implementing yet.
Okay.
So right now we have it so that if you can perform well, you're able to get into more portfolios.
Gotcha.
And there's two basic things you need to accomplish. One, you need to have a diversified portfolio that's performing well. And two, you can't have insane volatility. So we are intentionally getting rid of the GME, the AMCs of the world, not because they're bad trades, but until something changes, they're bad long-term investments.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
To be fair, GME might be changing. They have some things going on, but for the short term, it was a bad investment idea.
Yeah.
So our algorithms will just kind of filter that out.
Gotcha.
But then to your point, what does the person want to invest in? We are tracking everyone, and we know what they want to invest in, Are they a long-term, short-term kind of investor? We know what sector they're really good at. So we know that you're a really good technology investor. Or we also might know that, you really like technology stocks, but man, you're really bad at it. Here's some better technology stock picks. Don't go with these. You're doing bad. Do these instead. So we have all that data, and we're slowly integrating it into our algorithms in a smart way.
So it sounds like you guys are doing a lot of kind of pulling hands together and helping everyone kind of progress together collectively.
Yes.
That's super cool to hear, especially from like a tech company's perspective, because it sounds like it's completely contradictory to what a lot of other tech companies would do with data that they have, with the users. They would be using their users to grow themselves, to build a bigger profit for themselves. So it's really kind of refreshing to hear a different perspective from what you guys are doing at StockTeamUp, which is really cool. What have been some of the challenges that you guys have had in terms of building the site, implementing algorithms, and all of that stuff?
Oh man, so I had to learn code.
Ooh,
that was a big problem.
Yeah.
I went in as an engineer thinking I could probably figure this out, but it ain't as simple as that.
Yeah.
So I had to learn Angular 8, not AngularJS, C#, Postgres. I had to figure out Azure with my CTO. My CTO knows all this already, so he just would make fun of me the entire time.
Gotcha.
He'd be like, "Oh man, this is the worst code ever." Like, well, okay, well, sorry. But figuring out Azure, figuring out all of that, and then for us, so my CTO he works at a high enterprise level.
Okay.
But he's very smart, and we've had a lot of discussions where we have to be very scrappy. A lot of tech companies are they say agile, but they have processes. We're still in that startup phase. And we realize we have to change on a dime. If people are liking this, we have all this data coming in from Google Analytics, Facebook Analytics, blah, 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 blah. All this data. And if we see something that's an opportunity, we got to change really, really quickly. So we're trying to be very agile. And that's been, there's been a lot of pain from that, but also opportunities with growth and so forth.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So just trying to wrap my head around what you're doing from the business point of view. So you're moving into this. How does your company then, if you're a social media site, how does that produce revenue for you and your coworkers? Is that something like either advertisements on there, or from a business point of view, how does that work?
Yeah. So right now, we've made a decision early on to not do subscriptions.
Okay.
The whole idea of helping everyone out there, you really just can't do that if you're if you're doing a subscription plan. So our model is advertising.
Okay.
And right now it's it's advertising using Bing and Google and so forth.
Gotcha.
But we're building our own direct advertising platform.
Awesome.
We're going to release that in the spring.
Cool.
And then because we're a niche website, we actually get higher RPMs and higher rates. We've already been seeing that, and it'll likely continue when we do direct advertising.
Is StockTeamUp kind of its own beast in this field, or are there like competitors that have similar ideas or missions? What does that look like?
It's a bizarre space right now.
Yeah.
2 years ago when we launched, I would tell you we're it. We're innovative. We're the only ones. We're cool stuff. What's happening now is the Robin Hoods of the world, the Publics of the world, they all want to kind of get into social media. So while we're a social media platform, which, spoiler alert, we want to get into the brokerage world in the future.
For sure.
They're a brokerage company that wants to get into the social media world.
Okay.
And so, our competitive advantage, I think, is the fact that because we're going the opposite direction, we can do all these algorithms and trend by performance first. While the brokerage firms, that may not be in their best interest. They may not be interested in that. I can't tell for sure. I've used them obviously, but I can't tell for sure if they can even do that, because they really, at least what I've seen, is they want to churn people's portfolios. They want you to trade and trade and trade.
Yeah.
They're making that little bit of money off you each time.
Yeah.
We don't want that. We're boring. We're unfortunately a boring, a boring part of investing, which is we want you to hold for a while and make lots of money and not make that small amount of money every day.
Sure. So you definitely care more about like the long term. Do you even go into the world of like day trading or short-term trading at all, or do you completely veer away from that?
No.
That's probably very smart, especially for people that are just trying to get into this. And so someone that's listening to this who's really interested in doing this, when they join, what can they expect when they join? So do you help them set up, since you're not a brokerage yourself, do you help them set up with other brokerages, and how do you track people's trades? Do they have to do it in the brokerage and then translate it over to you, or do you already have it connected with someone else?
So what we're doing right now, and this is very intentional, is everything you do is a virtual portfolio.
Okay.
We're starting there because, by the way, in between me being an aerospace manager and doing this, I was an investment advisor.
Okay.
At a hedge fund for a while.
Gotcha.
And so we really want to like separate the ideas from real money, because then there's a whole bunch of other stuff involved with that.
For sure.
But what we do is you go on, you can see all these ideas, and you can basically engage with the site.
Right.
And as you engage, you get better and better ideas. Okay. And you can prove to yourself through a portfolio on our site that's virtual that that's a good strategy, or these 20 people that you are following are good people to follow because they make you a good portfolio, and you can translate that how you want to. In the future, we want you to translate that to a brokerage that's on our site, but that's for probably Q4 of this year.
Yeah. Is that so then meshing kind of the brokerage side of things with the social media side of things? Is there a huge gap that has to be bridged in order to have that happen, or is it kind of something that you see is just another functionality thing you can add to the platform?
Well, we are fortunate that the person that got us connected with Wrap Snacks, his dream was to build his own brokerage firm.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he's in FINRA. He was in FINRA, excuse me. He's done this for years. He can do it. So it's really not the technology that's the problem. It's the regulations.
Gotcha.
And he can get us through that. I'm looking at you, man. I'm gonna send you this afterwards. Hint, hint. Get going on the brokerage. But he can. We're working with him to get there, and we feel confident we can get there this year.
That's really cool.
No.
This past year, these past 6 months especially, has been kind of eye-opening for a lot of lay people, normal person who's afraid of the stock market. They think it's just for the bigwigs out in Wall Street, not really sure how to invest. Maybe they had opened up a Robinhood account with a couple $100s in there, kind of messing around. Have you seen over the 10 years that you've really been focusing on this, have you seen an increase in growth, or at least an interest of people wanting to get involved with their own money? And how has that escalated, especially over the past, it seems like the past 6 months especially, people have really kind of opened their eyes to it?
So I think overall more people are interested in this. The technology is so easy. The pain points of trying to invest now are pretty much gone.
Yeah.
I would almost, and this is probably almost too extreme, but I would say, in the old days of the investment advisor just kind of handling your money, that's going to probably continue on for people with over $200,000 or $300,000 incomes. But everyone else, it's so hard for the margins of an investment advisor to go after these, a normal person with 30 to 60,000 in income a year.
Yeah.
They're on their own or through their 401k. And once you're maxed out your 401k, you have to do it on your own pretty much.
Yeah. That's crazy. I'm just sitting here processing how important what you guys are doing is, because again, a 20-something-year-old with not a $200,000 a year salary, wanting to invest my money, not knowing how to get involved, going to the first place I see, which is Robinhood, and getting involved and doing things, but not really having that, I guess you could say, social media influence that shares good investment tips, stuff like that. Man, it's just sitting here processing this and thinking about this, it's crazy how important this is to be able to educate people on how to make these decisions, but also facilitate the process of making these decisions. Because again, Robinhood isn't interested in my best interest. They're interested in me making trades, because every trade I make, they make money.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is awesome. It's so cool.
Well, thank you.
So how is your, speaking of how cool it is, and I think that kind of transitions as well, how has your company specifically grown? Because you said you've had, I mean, your engagement numbers and people coming to your site, unique daily visitors, we kind of looked at that, and pretty incredible and very impressive. How has that growth been throughout your time? Has there been like ups and downs? Has it been more of a continual rise? And how do you facilitate that?
So, growth when it comes to people who come to our site, right? We got a huge boost with Rap Snacks. So there's a rapper, his name is Master P, which I need to say right now before I continue on. Rap Snacks, Master P, James Lindsay, the CEO of Rap Snacks, Wise Intelligent, who's one of the rappers at Rap Snacks. Before we partnered with them, I had no real interest. I was just like, I don't know. That just sounds like a quick play. And, but my business partner was like, we got to talk to them. We got to do this. I think they're really, this is a real deal thing. And we spoke to them, and these guys, oh my God, you would never have guessed, but these guys are obviously big capitalists, which is good. I'm really happy to be working with guys that get it. You need to be making money to do what you need to do. But they're very passionate about, in kind of the same way I am, about the financial literacy and getting people to invest. They spend so much time on financial literacy, time they don't need to spend. They could be out, they're in Miami. They could be doing whatever they want to do.
Sure.
But they care enough to do the financial literacy. They really want the African American community to not get into investing, but to grow their wealth. To actually grow their wealth through investing. They don't want them to trade and it's not gambling. They want to change the perception of it from being a gamble on Robinhood to being a way to generate wealth. And they're all in on that.
That's so cool.
I went off tangent. I'm sorry.
No,
I had
totally
to say that
good.
before I went on.
No, yeah, very helpful.
But they've been helping us grow. And so, Master P will do a spot, talk about us. We'll get a few thousand people come in. And what we're doing is we're learning each time. There's all this glamour of the startup, but then I'm fully honest. There's also the hardships. The first time Master P did that, he crashed our servers.
Wow.
We didn't expect it to be that much. It wasn't like we weren't ready. It was just that we didn't expect it to be that big, and it was egg on our face. So we immediately, my CTO spent 18 hours.
Wow.
Straight. He got it all. He took care of it. A lot of it was just dealing with Amazon Web Services. But it was just we had this opportunity. We had to just do it.
Wow.
And I was calling him every 2 hours, like, hey, how are you? As he said, you can't fix those things with multiple people. Multiple people will not solve that. When you're trying to fix something like that, it's kind of like a birth. You can't have more moms to make it happen faster. It just has to go out the way it has to go out. And so he was just scrambling, and we got that going, and we learned. And that's what happens each time. We do it. We get more people engaged. Our engagement goes up. But we have to keep on learning because the hardcore people love it. They're already invested. But we want the people that go on and they're like, this is fine. But then they go on to something else because they aren't really that into investing. We want to keep them in. And to do that, we have to hold true to what our intent is, which is really figure out how to grow their wealth and keep them interested while while doing that.
Yeah.
So marketing wise, you have made some really cool partnerships. How do you plan on differentiating yourself, because you do have kind of a different mission than I would say most, if not all, of the other companies that are kind of in this space, especially brokerage wise. So how do you guys market yourself out there? Do you guys, besides the partnerships that you've already made, do you plan on doing maybe teaching seminars or anything like that moving forward, or is that something that you're already doing, or how does that look like for you guys?
The key thing is what we're trying to market. Right now, our average active user makes about 30% on their portfolios.
Wow. Sign me up. All right.
Our top performers are making over 120%. And that's legitimate. They've chose some really good stocks last year.
Well, last year was a great year to start doing all that.
They picked the ones that just, man. So, I don't trend as well anymore. But, we want to sell that. And we have to, we have to make sure that's real returns. Like people can really convert that into real returns because,
sure.
you know, a lot of people can figure out investing, but there's a lot of people that can't. And we want to make sure we can grab them. The people that are making 30 to 60K a year or even lower than that and say, we got you. We got you.
Yeah.
So now that's what we want to tell them.
Gotcha.
We're doing, we're focused right now on Wrap Snacks and really just letting them do the marketing.
Gotcha.
They have a whole behemoth. They can handle it.
Gotcha.
We're focused on the technology because the technology needs to sell itself.
Yeah.
And we're still in that transition period. There's those little things, those little kinks that we're just trying to just get out, as fast as possible. We're working sprints of, I'm usually calling developers in England and India on Saturday evening, like, hey, what are you guys up to? Is it done yet? And that's just what we have to do because we really want to make sure that the app is selling everything.
So the partnership with Wrap Snacks, what does that look like? How did that get started? And what role, I would say, do they have as far as it goes with StockTeamUp?
Yeah. So like I said, once I figured out with my business partner that these guys were just great people,
Yeah.
I was like, let's just do it. So we worked out a partnership where we did the Stock Bossip app. And that is a strictly 50-50 partnership. So we take care of all of the technology. They take care of the marketing.
Wow.
Yep.
Very interesting. And how do you get connected with them? What was like where's the connection points with that?
My business partner, he just knows people that knows people, man. That's what he does. He just does stuff like this.
And kind of cool. You wouldn't expect that to really pair well.
But no, he had an old business relationship. He used to be an investment advisor.
Gotcha.
And so he connected with him, and Wrap Snacks was always looking for a way to share investment ideas in the African American community. And we were very lucky to partner with them because we want to achieve that with them.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's the exact same goal.
How long ago did the partnership start?
Man, I think it's been a year now.
Oh, wow.
God, yeah, we were going to do a mini college tour with them, and then COVID hit, and it changed all of our. Yeah, I still have I think $700 in vouchers that we need to start using. I think we used a little bit. We went to Miami in February just recently, and we used up a little bit of it. But yeah, we.
So then you said colleges. Is that kind of like your first target, so to speak, when it comes to like touring and getting your guys' name out there? Do you want to, once things open up and resume, go to college campuses, share this stuff with people?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we have we started something called Stock Madness for obvious reasons. That's going on. So, but basically, we want college students to come in first and foremost from historically Black colleges, because, and it's interesting, it's not because we want to get them into investing, but actually it's because they're really already getting into investing. They already are on board, and they're making great suggestions and ideas on the site. So just getting more of that is going to be just great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But then all colleges, of course, in general, college students, from what I've seen, do really great. Like they don't mind taking chances. They already know the companies that are being innovative. And so, we just want more college students because they get the best picks,
Yeah.
So when you mentioned that kind of the site kind of, as people perform better, they start to trend more. Is there, I would assume, or I guess I could ask first, the algorithms that you have set in place, is there a way then to differentiate someone who might not have, who might have just gotten lucky?
Yes.
So to speak.
Okay,
gotcha.
That is a great question. I'm sorry.
I think you understand what I was getting at. Yeah. Like, how do you keep someone like me who just so happened to buy $1,000 of Royal Caribbean when it was at its lowest point and is seeing crazy returns now? How do you prevent someone like me from getting to the top to educate other people when I know nothing about anything else?
Well, first off, if you did do that and you got to the top, I don't mind. Go for it. But our algorithm really requires some good practices.
Okay.
So the big one is diversity. You need a diversified portfolio. That's the easy way to kind of get rid of the ones that got lucky.
Yeah.
The other thing is volatility. So we haven't we haven't fully implemented it yet, but we've already started. And so if you have a very volatile portfolio, you're going to trend less. And that means volatility way up as well. Volatility is think about Bitcoin, for example. Bitcoin goes way, way up, right? The problem with Bitcoin is you were supposed to invest in it 2 years ago at $3,500. If you start investing in Bitcoin now, all that upside is going to turn into an 80% drop in about 7 to 8 months. So it's not, it's not healthy volatility. It's great because it's all going up, but when our audience eventually sees it, it may not be the right time for them to get in.
Gotcha.
And there's nothing wrong with them. It's just the fact that when you're doing other things, you're working, you have families, to figure out that Bitcoin's in the middle of a bubble, you have to spend a lot of time and energy on it. And so we don't want these high volatility stocks going into people's trends. We want to give the safer ideas so that people can just keep on continuing to grow their wealth.
Yeah, that was actually my next topic. My next question was cryptocurrency. Been a very, very hot topic recently. Our boss Ryan, he is all in on whether it's Bitcoin or just kind of cryptocurrency in general, and a lot of people are now kind of opening their eyes to the possibility of it maybe being a future currency of the world and things like that. I would love to hear kind of your general thoughts on it. How do you like your thoughts on where it's already gone so far, and maybe where it's going to be going in the future?
So I worked for a hedge fund for a year. I was the portfolio manager. I think my exact title was, director of data science, but whatever. I was managing the portfolios. These portfolios had a few millions of dollars in crypto. So I had an intent focus on making sure I didn't lose money.
Sure.
So I spent a year doing that, and I'll tell you, if you guys want me to come on another time and talk for crypto for an hour, I'll happily just do that until everyone's answers are done. But Bitcoin is what I've seen. I think it was the Winklevoss twins. I think they're the ones, the Facebook twins guys. They've said this first, and this is the one thing I agree with them on. They don't see Bitcoin being a way of transacting value in terms of coffee and like these everyday things, but they can see it where a tanker of oil could be bought by Bitcoin between countries that may not have a currency anymore because it completely
has been devalued.
Of Venezuela, the world. And I see that as a very real deal. I mean, the amount of energy put into the Bitcoin network is so much. I believe, I haven't checked enough, but I'm sure. I feel sure about this, that it's probably one of the top networks that's very secure. It's hard to crack it and change transactions on it. And anyone in the world can pretty much do a Bitcoin transaction. But just as long as you have a phone and internet, it's hard to really stop people from doing that. You can stop them at the exchange, but if you and I want to trade some Bitcoins for, I don't know, something, we can do that. We one time, actually, the old investment advisory firm I worked at, we traded some Bitcoin for a yacht cruise in Miami.
What?
That's amazing.
Totally, that's how you should do it, right? You should use it as a transaction point, but
Super
That's really cool.
So then, as you're seeing an influx in users on your platform, as you're seeing more people become interested in using your platform, are you seeing, as far as like the training financial literacy, are you seeing that there's a huge learning curve for them getting involved newly, that they have to learn a whole lot of stuff before they actually are educated enough to perform? Or do they typically bring with them a lot of knowledge? What does that look like on average?
It's a mixed bag.
Okay, gotcha.
I like to say our demographic is, our audience is a cross of everyone who likes Master P and everyone who likes to invest. So if you like those two things, you're probably on our site. And it's a whole different range of knowledge. Some are brand new and they're asking questions, and some are trending really well and make over 120% returns. So it's a mixed bag, and what we're doing is trying to connect those top people to the people that need help through our algorithms, so that they're getting the best ideas.
Super cool. Has Indianapolis specifically played any role as far as development or marketing and networking at all in the last foreseeable past?
Because of COVID, we've been kind of quiet. But in September, I joined Launch Fishers.
Okay.
the technology knowledge in Indianapolis when I came here, I didn't know it was quite vast.
Yeah.
Because of Salesforce and other things going on here. So I'm so happy that we're gonna be doing all of our technology in Indianapolis, because it is definitely the right place to do it. So this year and next year, our goal is to start bringing people into our company that are Indianapolis natives and grow our programmers here.
Yeah, and that's
really
kind
cool.
of that segues really well into what I wanted to ask next was the future of this company. Do you have any, whether it's bigger scale or whether it's just in the next year or whether it's in the next month, what are kind of some of the future plans and growth that you can see with StockTeam? Like, do you see it going? You said that you would like to start your own brokerage. What other kind of plans do you have in order to grow it and help more people that want to get started with this?
Well, the key thing first, because we have a long-term 4-year plan, but the key thing that we first got to do is take this concept of if you have less than 30K, an investment advisor might take you on, but they're not going to give you the personal touch. That's just the reality of it. Our site, if you really think of everything we've talked about, it's like having 10 investment advisors working on your portfolio. And they all have an incentive to do that because they need more views. Our top users get 100,000 views a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because of outsiders coming in and looking at it and so forth. And so we need to really focus on getting that perfect this year. After that's done and we have the brokerage done, we really want to expand the whole process, right? Some of the ideas we've talked about with Wrap Snacks is really from start to finish. How does someone go from getting money to invest to learning how to invest to actually investing?
Right.
That whole process flow we really want to fine tune. And the one that's missing that we haven't talked about is how do you make money?
Yeah.
And we don't know that answer yet, but we want to make sure that if someone comes to our site, if they don't have money yet to invest, we can maybe have partners or have technology that can get them possibly a job or something. That way the whole process of wealth growing can be accomplished through our site. The first part, getting the income first, that's a hard part. That's probably a 2-year, 3-year plan.
Yeah.
For sure.
But right now we can focus on the other two, which is investing and learning how to invest.
I bet you get a lot of influx of people that come to the site or the social media platform expecting to utilize the investment as their income. They don't have a lot of income right now, they have some money and they expect like day trading, for example, or like lucky hits to be able to fund their income.
Yeah.
I bet that's probably a bit, like the first stage of learning how to get them to understand the importance of having a stable income before you go investing.
Yeah, and the thing about growing wealth is as you grow your wealth more and you get dividends and you get other things, that is a supplement to your income. That's an easier way to supplement your income actually. And teaching people that, these are not hard concepts.
Yeah.
Investing, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I think investing's very easy, honest to God.
Yeah, I just think it's not taught in really any education system right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really have to go out there and do it on your own.
The analogy I like to give people is, back in the 1700s, people didn't think other people should vote.
Yeah.
People were like, people shouldn't be able to vote on things. They don't know what's going on.
Right.
Probably the best idea so far, is to have everyone vote. One person, one vote, and investing's the same thing. Half of the power in our country is tied up in businesses and companies. Yep. So people have power with the government.
Yeah.
But they're missing this other half, which is investing. And if they could just figure it out and just start investing, it's even easy to figure out. It's just getting them exposed to it. It could really change a lot culturally if we can get more people to invest. Just do it. Just do it.
Super cool. So if someone is listening, maybe wants to learn more about how to get involved with investing, how to get involved with StockTeamUp, what's the best way for someone to, again, dip their toes in the water of investing and learning more about their finances?
Go to StockTeamUp.com, obviously. There's an ultimate guide I put together myself. Okay. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek way of explaining how investing works. I think at one point I call CEOs a bunch of idiots, and you should, I should say it now, when you're an investor, you actually are the boss of these CEOs, and your vote determines if they stay on, albeit your vote probably doesn't matter, but it does matter. It does make a point if these CEOs aren't making you money. And so in our tongue in cheek, I just say, hey, these CEOs are idiots. Assume they're idiots. They're probably not. They're probably really respectable men and women. Yeah. But assume they're idiots first, and really beat up the CEOs that own these companies or that are the managers of these companies you own, because they need to make you money. That's how you need to think about investing. So do the ultimate guide, and then join and try it out. Try it out and learn about some stock picks, and just try it. Doing that's half of what we're trying to do, is just get you to do
exactly. it. So then the startup process, online app, is it both? What does that look like?
The Stock Boss Up app, go join that. That's the best way to do it. If you are still a desktop person, try StockTeamUp.com. Okay. No problem at all. Either way works. And you can just sign up. It takes, I think the average time it takes is a minute to sign up. Perfect. So it's all free to do.
Awesome. Perfect. So for someone listening that wants to get a hold of StockTeamUp, maybe wants to learn more about you guys, again, it's StockTeamUp.com. Are there other avenues that you have, social media, that someone can learn more about what you guys are doing? You
can find us on Twitter at StockTeamUp. You can find me at Chaster Charles. I don't tweet much, though. I actually don't like social media, believe it or not. It's the worst. I don't know what's wrong with
Join
me.
the club. Yes.
I guess if you want to see my, join my other 6 followers on Twitter, go for it. But you can also, if you want to contact us and have some things you want to talk about, you can really email us at info@stockteamup.com. And we reply within 24 hours.
Super cool. Well, I think that wraps things up. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing a lot of your knowledge and behind the scenes look at what you guys are doing. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate your time. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning into this episode. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Gotta believe for us.